Good morning here in the US, and good afternoon elsewhere, or good evening, other part of the world. We are here for our weekly talk show, New Gambia platform. Today we have a very important topic to discuss, which is the causes of divorce rate, the causes of divorce and high divorce rate. And also we're gonna discuss about single parenting. So today definitely is an issue that we see very common in the West, especially, and even in the modern Gambia today. We're gonna analyze the root cause of this higher divorce rate, and also what are the steps to control it or to mitigate it. So I hereby welcome our panelists and co-hosts, Sam Ceesay and Nfamara Drammeh. Thank you. Welcome, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Sawaneh.
Yep. Well, folks, I guess before we start, I think it'll be nice to do a little moment of silence here to remember all the souls that we lost, including Tata Dinding that we heard about. He's been a great figure for Gambia. I never knew he was sick, so I didn't know his condition, but I never knew he was sick. And all of a sudden I heard he died. So it'll be nice to do a moment of silence, a 1 minute silence here before we start, in respect to him and his family and all the departed soul. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant them or forgive them all their sins and grant them Jannatul Firdaus. A moment of silence. Well, thank you all, and thank you for all for observing that moment of silence for our departed souls. And like I said, it's a great loss for our country. We lost great people, and as Gambians, I know we all have a bad habit of not celebrating our people while they're alive. We tend to celebrate them when they depart this world. And it's an eye-opening, and we all need to learn to really cherish our people while they're alive, do our best, do everything we need to do with our people. Our great people, great heroes need to be celebrated while they're alive. These are people that we can really make programs and put them on radio and television and celebrate their legacy while they're alive, rather than after they depart. I remember a great football player, Biri, was one of those as well that departed recently, or about a year or so ago. Similar things happen. And Gambians, like I said, we all need to really reflect on this and think what we can do to change our culture and change the tradition that we have and change the habit and the mindset that we have when it comes to our people, and start looking into what we can do to change that instead of waiting until they depart the world and start talking about them and saying all the good things that we could have said when they were alive. So, but that's all I want to say about this. And we can move on here with today's topic. It's a very important topic. I don't know that we are experts in this, but this is an opportunity for anyone really to talk about this, because this can impact anybody. We've all seen this in our families. We've all seen this with friends. We've all seen this with relatives. We've all seen this with other people as well. So therefore, every person can say something about this, even though we are not marriage counselors or anything like that. Or I am not, I can say that. I don't know about you guys, but I am not a marriage
I'm
counselor
not
or
either.
anything like that.
I'm
But
not either.
but this is something that I think everybody can say something about. First things first, before
Yeah,
we get to
Tom,
divorce. Yeah, go
maybe
ahead,
before
Farmer.
you go further, we just
Yes.
go around and talk about Tata Dinding a little
Oh,
bit.
good, perfect.
Just pay tribute to him. Like you said, as us as Gambians, we need to start celebrating our heroes when they're alive, than when they pass away. Because when the news broke yesterday, lots of different platforms, individuals, people in the country, and we all was very shocked about the news. And then our thoughts and prayers were with the family. Of course, Tata was a very, very good man. He's a very humble guy, very hardworking. And then I was listening to one of his interviews some time back with Timola Watu. He was talking about he wants to be a doctor, when he finished from school. But then later on, he decided to follow the footsteps of his father to become a musician, so that's how he got into Kora. So since then, the guy's been doing very good. I mean, if you talk about Kora in Gambia, apart from Jalba Kuyata, you talk about Tata Dinding. Yeah. And then he made a very, very good contribution in terms of promotion of music, the culture, of course, and our tradition. And then he has worked with various community groups and football clubs in terms of raising funds, to help community projects, because most of the community projects, people depend on fundraising like this to help, because we cannot rely on the government 100%. So many football clubs, or whether it's a village development committee or any other committee, has one time used the service of Tata Dinding, to raise funds to help communities. So I think he's a very good citizen, and he has contributed his part. And then we pray to Allah to forgive his soul and grant him Jannatul Firdaus, and give the family the fortitude to bear his loss. Obviously, it's a big loss to the community. So, and I hope we continue to celebrate our heroes while they are alive. Death obviously is inevitable. When the time comes, obviously, we all have to go at some point. But when people are contributing a lot to national development, we need to recognize and celebrate them in that way, they feel. Tata was not feeling okay for the past few years. But that doesn't stop him from doing what he loved best, and that's playing Kora. And he absolutely was very resilient, and despite all that, he was going on, enjoying his life. And then the last track, one of his track recently was Kano. This means that, he was saying in his song, probably, I'm paralyzed, I don't walk anymore, or my face don't look right anymore, but that should not stop you from loving me. So I think that was a very touching song that he released, I think sometime last year when he was launching his album. And then so that shows how Tata is very resilient when it comes to, doing what he loved doing. So our thoughts and prayers would be him. On behalf of the Gambia and the New Gambia platform, I want to join you and Sawaneh as well, and the rest of our viewers, to pray to Tata, and then, may Allah forgive his soul. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah,
Thank
I
you,
also
Farmer.
wanna send my condolence to the family of Tata. This is a big loss for the Gambian populace. Tata, I've watched him played Kora, and he was so much gifted. The messaging of his Kora, the tone, the beats, and the talent, that were all incorporated, it was just mesmerizing to see that he diminished at this young age. It's really a loss for the country. So again, condolence to his family, friends, and loved ones. And I think I'm just gonna reiterate what you guys just said. We need to start celebrating our people while they are alive. We tend to, celebrate them when they are not here. It's okay to celebrate them when they are not here, but the most important thing would have been to celebrate them when they were around. That way they will feel the love and then the appreciation for the work that they've done. So rest in peace, Tata. May Allah forgive him. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Mr. Sawaneh. Thank you, Nfamara. You guys said quite a bit. Nfamara, thanks a lot for really getting into this. And I'm glad you did, because you knew more, you said more about this man that was a great man than the rest of us. Like I said, I don't know him. I heard about him. I have heard his music, and he's been a great person. So thank you for doing that, Nfamara. Thank you. And Mr. Sawaneh as well. Thank you for, again, saying that. And on behalf of New Gambia platform, we send our sincere condolence to the family. And we definitely all need to keep you in our prayers, and we will keep you in our prayers. Thank you all.
Thank you. All right, so you have the floor, Sam. Pamela said if you can start.
Oh, really?
Yes, about our today's topic.
Well, like I was trying to say earlier, this is a topic that anybody can say anything, and we can take different dimensions, and you won't be wrong. Anybody can say anything that will still be right, because there's a lot to digest in this and talk about. So I'm going to focus on one area and talk about a little bit about just to kickstart this, and then allow you guys to come in and say what you want to say. And then we can go around in the circle again until we get to where we want to stop. But I don't think this topic can be finished today, because there's a lot to talk about this. So first things first, is the divorce rate and also single parenting is not an easy thing. It's not an easy thing, and we can avoid certain things if we do the due diligence from the beginning. In any situation, it's always good to do analysis and look at root causes of certain things before you really get into the whole issue. Root causes of marriage terminations or divorces, in other words, what causes them. There are certain things that causes them. There's one that I'll put them in two different categories. One that's natural, meaning one of the spouses passed away, their time is up, and Almighty Allah said, yeah, this person is going to go, and their time is up, they have to go. In that case, we cannot avoid single parenting. But for premature divorces that are caused by problems, whether the problems was between themselves or caused by other people, there are things that we can all learn from this. Like I said, I'm not the expert in this. I am going to say the few advices that I can give here, or things that I know. First things first, before getting married, is very, very important for everyone to really take your time and look at the person that you really love, you truly love, all the way around. It's very important. If you don't love somebody, don't waste their time. Don't start. Don't fool them. Don't lie to them. Don't do all of that stuff. So love is very important. Honesty is very important. The integrity. And once you get married, loyalty is very important. All of these are very important. But to be honest, upfront is the most important thing. For men, I'll start with men. There's really no reason to try to marry someone when you know that you can't afford it, or when you know that you're not going to be honest with the person. So it's best to be upfront to in the first place. Be honest with someone that you want to marry, and let them know who you are. All the way to your family is very important. Don't pretend to be someone that you're not, because lying to them from the beginning, that lie will cut up with you. It'll be something that will turn around and come bite you sometime. And when that happens, that's where problem starts. Because the woman at that point can say, well, you didn't tell me that from the beginning. If I knew this is how you were, I would not have married you. And that is true. If they knew that this is how you are, they probably would not have married you. So that means you have not been honest to your person. And the same thing goes to the women. Same thing goes to women. So having a false life or pretend life is really, you're really portraying yourself to be someone that you're not. That creates a long-term problem. It creates a problem down the road because it's going to be very difficult to stay in that cover for too long without people realizing. So honesty from the beginning is very important. Once you're honest to each other and you decide to get married, take your time, do your study, do your analysis, and talk about what you want to do, how you're going to build your family if you want to start a family. And when you start a family, the responsibilities, everybody's role, everybody's responsibility. And as we know in our tradition from back home, when you marry a woman as a man, you take responsibility. The man is always the head of the household. You cannot take your responsibility and want your woman to take that responsibility. It's your responsibility as a man. Be responsible enough to take your responsibility. Take care of your wife, take care of your family, take care of your household stuff. Whatever the wife gets, that is theirs, and they have the right to bring it to the home. They have the right to disperse their money the way they want to do it. That is theirs. You're the one that went after them and got them from their family and brought them to your home to live with them. It is your responsibility. So as a man, because the man is the head of the household. So I'll look at it from that way. And no matter what the woman has, the woman will also have the obligation to think about this as a family. We are all one family, and we both need to contribute to this marriage to make it work and not leave it on one hand. A woman, however, cannot be working as well, and you let your husband do everything when you're also working. It is nice, even though the obligation is the husband's responsibility. That's the responsibility of the husband as the head of the household. But it is always nice for a woman to say, I will do this, I will do this. And I'll say an example, before I moved to America, I worked at the US Embassy in Gambia, and my wife worked at Ceesay, and I took the responsibility of the house, where we lived and all of that stuff and the bills. But my wife said, you know what, I'm going to hire a maid and I will pay the maid myself. I said, really? And she said, yes. And she did. She hired a maid that will come to our house and clean and cook for us while we both go to work and do all the stuff and laundry and ironing of our clothes. And she paid that person. I never paid a dime to that person, and she also said, we will get a house line here, telephone line in those days. And she volunteered to pay for that. So I never paid for the telephone line either, even though I am the head of the household. So, if you really talk about it from the beginning, and you're honest with each other, can make a big difference. It can go a long way. And if you start off that way, it can go a long way. Now, that is different for a wife that's not, or a spouse that's not working, especially a wife that's not working. A wife that's not working really cannot do that. So the husband need to understand that this is your responsibility, is 100% your responsibility to provide clothing, shelter, food, and all of that for your family. And when you have children, same thing is the responsibility of the head of the house, or the parent or the father, to take care of your children, no matter what, from day one all the way to until they grow up and finish their education, wherever they're going to stop and start working on their own. It is the father's responsibility to do that for them. And we should never run away from that. If you're not going to be able to take care of your kids, you should not have kids, in other words. So we need to take responsibility and do the right thing And look at the women as women are our mothers. They are our sisters. They are our wives. They are our aunties. So we need to really look at them, our grandmothers. We look at them from that perspective. If you look at every woman as this is how your mother started, this is how your mother is. Your mother is a woman. And you look at it that way. You take every woman that you have, every wife that you, anybody that has a wife, you look at your wife as this is my blood sister. Now, are you going to maltreat your sister or not? No, you're not going to. So don't maltreat somebody else's sister. Or this is my daughter. If that was your daughter, would you like anybody else to maltreat your daughter? No, the answer is no. So don't do it to somebody else's daughter. So these are things that we all need to be careful. I'm going to stop here and allow you guys, maybe we can go around later on. So for now, I'm going to stop right there.
Wow, wonderful, Sam. You have really been making me scratch my head, saying all these beautiful things about about marriage and how we can mitigate divorce. So thank you so much for that.
Thank you, Sam.
Nfamara can come in now.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Sam. Thank you so much. That was very, very educative. And then we learned something from that. Thank you. So, Sawaneh, marriage is a very important sacred bond between a man and a woman. And I'm so, even though we are not marriage counselors, but sometimes we witness this kind of things happening in our families, or maybe within our friends, or within household and stuff like that. So sometimes you witness some kind of a dispute between husband and wife, and that's make you sometimes get involved and learn from it. Or maybe it's a close family member, some of those things goes. But marriage is very, very important. As we already hear from our Islamic scholars, sometimes they preach about, that people should get married, that people should respect each other as husbands and wife. And that's what makes marriage so beautiful. Even in our religions, in the teaching of the Quran, and of course the Sunnah as well, marriage is a sacred bond between man and woman, right? So therefore, each partner in this relationship, must treat each other with respect and properly. Of course, that matter. Of course, yeah, we all know things can happen in a marriage, especially when you're married to somebody in your lifetime. You're bound to have some issues here and there. But when it comes to divorce, a man must not divorce his wife, just to bring harm to her, because that is going to bring about, the woman's heart. You're going to break her heart, you're just going to do something that she's not going to be happy about, and possibly that might even separate her from her children, because in circumstances where we see some marriages broke down, some men just take possession of the children, they just left the woman to just go home like that, and then they lose connection with their children. So you see, so this is why marriage is so important. But of course, separation is allowed in Islam as well, when man and woman cannot be together for any reason or something like that, but it is purely condemned. And that's why even in the aspect of religion, separation of man and his wife, a husband and wife, anybody that comes between a husband and wife trying to separate them, is one of the biggest sin in Islam. And then I know this is something that the Satan wants, because Satan always wants to get between people who love each other so that they can separate. But this is one of the biggest sin in Islam, to break a husband and wife from a relationship. So in general speaking, divorce is not generally favored in Islam. Of course, yeah, there are exceptions when things like that happen. I mean, they suggest you ask for a counsel, to go and ask people, our religious leaders, community leaders that have experience, they have wisdom, they have knowledge, basically how to solve issues out, so that you can understand when there's an issue. But in the event such attempts failed, both spouses must resort to Islamic arbitration. That means that you have to, one should have parties to represent both sides. That's the family side, to see how they can resolve this matter. So it's very, very important. But there, of course, there are also reasons why some mentioned that sometimes, like if some, but that's parenting basically, like if a husband passed away or so. But one of the reasons, like you can give reasons for being divorced, is if a husband is being abusive in a relationship, you know, or maybe one of the partners are not mentally okay, you know, or, you know, emotional abuses from tortures and stuff like that. You know, I mean, if this is persistence in a marriage, and according to what we read from Quran and you know, from the preachers, they say that could be a reason why you can ask for a divorce. You know, if a man or one of the partners is very abusive, both physically and emotionally, and it's not, you know, something that has been changed or has been going on and stuff like that, you know, it's one of those reasons. And also the failure, Sam mentioned about the failure, one of man taking responsibility. Okay, also other is the failure to fulfill the objectives, the purpose of marriage. Obviously, like if a husband and man, they got married and straight away these two people found that there's incompatibility between the two. You know, they cannot go together. You know, they just find out, no, there's a mismatch here. You know, I mean, these partners are not, in terms of our likes and dislikes and stuff like that, obviously. Yeah. And then failure for a husband to provide. You know, Sam mentioned that, and that's a very good thing, because as husbands, it is our responsibility, you know, to feed our wives, you know, to give them clothing, you know, to take care of them health-wise, housing, you know, that's our main responsibility. So if a man failed to do those responsibilities, obviously the woman have the right, you know, to ask for a divorce, you know, from the man, because the man is feeling the responsibility. Unless otherwise, maybe a woman is working and maybe he just understood that maybe the husband don't have the capacity, you know, and wants to chip in and do certain things. But no matter what, whatever your husband have, whatever he's doing, your wife is doing, it is still your responsibility, unless it's a consent of the wife that, yes, I'm going to take the responsibility. Just like Sam mentioned, you know, the wife just went in to say, okay, since the both of us are working, I'll go for this part, I'll go for this part. So it's not, because it is actually supposed to be the wife that stays home to do all of these things. But if he pick up a job and he's doing something to bring to the family, and then, you know, he's chopped to choose, bring somebody else to help in the work that he's supposed to do. That's very okay. Yeah, so these are some of the things, Sawaneh, is very important, that we know what marriages are and we respect each other. And if we do this, the rate of divorce will be very minimal. And then everybody, all the partners will work together and build up your family and see how you can, you know, avoid those kind of things. But marriage is something very sacred bond between a husband and wife. And even in our religion, they don't encourage divorce a lot. So you have to go through various processes, you know, before you can do divorce. And there are reasons why you should just do it. You don't just wake up and just say, I want to divorce my wife because he doesn't listen to me or whatnot. I mean, those are lame excuses, but you have to find a genuine reason to do that, because it has some consequences, both emotionally, you know, and also connection with the family, especially the kids. When you have a younger family in a marriage, and then you guys have to, you know, suddenly broke up, it affects the children, you know, it affects the partners too, as well. Yeah. So I'll stop here for now for the marriage. I think maybe later on we can move on to the other side as well. So that's my small contribution.
It's not small, it's actually a big one. Just like Sam's.
It is huge. He said a lot. He said a
Yeah,
lot. That was great, Nfamara.
Nfamara never gives small contributions. He actually go beyond what I can actually contribute. So so that being said, I also would like to contribute, you know, on this topic. So Thank you so much, Nfamara, for that. Thank you, and thank you, Sam, again.
Thank you.
Yeah. So marriage, first of all, marriage should be encouraged. Anybody at the age of 18, I can say, should be considering it. I'm not saying that don't jump. I'm not saying to jump on it right away, but you should be looking forward how to settle down, because you have reached a maturity state, and you are capable enough to have a family. And even if you don't have a job, but you should be thinking about finding one to take care of yourself and your family. I mean, and your wife. So it should be encouraged. I am very much not happy, or I can say saddened, the fact that there's many young people, young folks, boys and girls, who are not getting married because of some reasons, especially in the West. I always encourage boys when I'm with them. If you are in the West, it's many girls here. I have no problem going back home and getting married, but before you even make that step, there are many here. And for example, in America, some boys would rather hold on because some of the kids born here tend to have a culture, or tend to be familiar with the culture from the West. So that kind of cause some confusion, or kind of cause some deterrence for them to get into a relationship. But I always say, you just have to try. And even if it is not for kids born in America or in the West, there are many Gambians who travel from back home and they come here, they're not married. So we should look into that. I always encourage my boys on that, on those kind of things, so that they can get involved. And also, responsibility is really scary. Yeah, I can relate to that. When you take a wife, that's when your problem starts. Before you married, perhaps you don't have much problems. And when the lady marries, that's when her solution starts. That's when she starts to get solution for her problems, because now she can solder it, she can push it to someone else. So I got that, but that shouldn't mean that we should not get married. So I encourage everyone to get married. We have Binta joining us here. I know Binta knows that I'm coming hard on this topic, so that's why she just joined when I was speaking. So yeah, so there are challenges. The first challenge of marriage is money. Money is a challenge. And I have had some said we should take care of our wives. They make their money, shouldn't worry about it. Yeah, I like to entertain engagement. That's why I always like to look at where we can have debates. Yeah, if I'm pretty sure some ladies will be clapping for you, Sam, today for saying that. And they wish all the men can think that way. Hey, make your money, spend it anyhow, buy gold chain, go to weddings, buy those expensive, garambubas, throw money to the jellos. Yeah, I'm pretty sure some women will love that when they hear that. But guess what? Sam, this world now, it doesn't work like that. I tend to a little bit, hold on to that, because what I want our women now to think, instead of keeping their money, I like them to look into savings for their kids. College savings, 529. I have that for my kids, whereby their college would be saved, instead of having to go to those jellos and those ceremonies. put that money, that $50 every week on the side for your kids' education. It will come handy. So money is very important. I like your idea of husband taking responsibility, unless you are a lazy one. But if you're not lazy, you should, because it makes you feel good. It makes you feel the man. But now, how do we equate that when it comes to decision making? Would it also be the husband who would be taking responsibility in consultation? So there is a little bit debate. And that brings me to the 50-50 analogies. Because in the West here, if you married someone from America, they will tell you 50-50. They want to know your paycheck. You will also know their paycheck. Now they will have an input on how you spend your money. So, is this applicable in our society? I'm pretty sure some would say no, and Nfamara would say no. But now, our women are getting two advantages. They are saving their money and spending it on expensive clothing, going to these jellos and these ceremonies. And at the same time, when they come here, they will say, we are in America, women has the upper power. So how does it work? I mean, you are keeping that money, fine. I'm paying all of the bills. Now, this also comes because women are more favorable here in terms of they give women and children more ratings. Now you want to take advantage of that too. It doesn't go both ways. You have to really take advantage of one, and I take advantage of another. So I think this is where divorce comes into play. The women sometimes they come from work because they are working, making that money, thinking about the next program, what gold came to wear, and calling Salimatu, calling Binta. Hey, what are you wearing this ceremony? I mean, this coming gente. Oh, Binta said I'm gonna adjustment. I'm gonna wear adjustment. Wow, adjustment. Okay, you're gonna go and get that. So you put that paycheck and go and then buy that. So now you come home, you are tired. There's no food on the table. Some get to the kitchen and tell you, Binta, why you didn't cook today? I mean, I just come from work. I just come from work. What do you mean? I go to work. I cannot do all this. I'm a human being. I need to sleep. I need to, the kids are there. So this is the challenge. You want to work. Yes. Now come to cooking. You don't want to, you cannot cook because you're tired. You're a human being. And now this woman cannot cook. The kids are there. They had to go and buy, junk food outside or cook some noodles, fast food, and everything is falling apart. Some husband would go and eat in their friends, to their friend's house. Their friends whose perhaps their wife cooks every day. They will find a way how to get attires going on there. And then perhaps they'll be hanging out there waiting for their food. But when they go to their home, their wife is already tired. And not to mention, when you guys, time for you guys to get together at night, it's another big struggle. So what are the limitations for our women in terms of work? That is a question that I'm gonna ask both of you. What are the limitations? Should they have a part-time job just to get by? Should they have a full-time job? If they have a full-time job, you are paying the bills. Should you make sure that every time food is on the table? Or should you go in the kitchen? I've seen some men here who goes into the kitchen. So sometimes I thought they are women. If they don't turn their face around, I wouldn't tell whether they are men, they are the woman or they are the wife or they are the husband, because they know how to cook so much. And then sometimes I go to some of these guys' house and then I said, gee, the food is nice. They say, your wife can cook. They will tell me, what? I am the one who cooked this. I said, you can cook this? Yeah, because they had no choice. They had to learn. So West is really, I don't know much about Gambia, but West is really a challenge. And I think we need to sensitize women. I love women. Trust me, you guys are my best friends. But when it comes to taking care of husband, taking care of husband. Yeah. Husband should be taken care of too. Sam, it's not only women who has to be taken care of. Who wouldn't want to be taken care of? I would like to be taken care of too, even though I'm taken care of. So, but in a different way. Yeah, in a different way. That means I come from work. Oh, honey, how are you? How was your day? You know, get me, welcome me with that welcome smile and hold my back. And these are romantic stuff I'm talking about. This is not like anything, to be subjusive or something. No, this is romantic stuff. That is how men would like to get taken care of. And women should know that. Yes, I like to make my woman feel great, buy her stuff, hold her hands. Yeah, that's a man's responsibility. I agree. But man too has to feel that they are being showered. I think that also is important for women to know. So, in other words, I'm trying to be fair and balanced. Yes, men should definitely be the head of the household, pay all that bill. Hey, I wouldn't like my wife to pay expensive bill for what? If you want to pay cable, that's fine. If you want to pay phone bill, honey, that's fine. If we go out and say, honey, I take care of this. Oh, really? So great. I will take it. But I don't want it to be set in stones. No, you don't have to be, in the bed thinking about this is what I have to pay. This bill is what. No, women don't supposed to do that. But at the same token, please, women's money shouldn't be going on gentis all the time or expensive jewelries while their children are not, the schools are not being paid or they don't have savings for college. Yeah, I would definitely discourage that. And I think it's high time for us to sensitize. And for our men, go pick up, find a job. I cannot take from anyone saying that I cannot find a job. If you cannot find a job, create a job. Even if it is garbage collection, go and collect garbage. In the West here, people collect garbage and make money. We'll go and watch somebody's, dishes or something. But to say that I cannot find a job, because I didn't go to the West, so I don't have money. No, as long as you married, devise ways. That is your responsibility. So I think once people do all that, and then they initially also they love the person that they are with, and they are not arranged, then that also is very important. Sometimes we are forced to marry someone at a very young age. We have seen my book, The Dangerous Love, talks about that. Arranged marriages and the disadvantages. If you force somebody to marry someone that they never loved, especially a man, that woman will suffer. Maybe woman, I have seen that women adjust. When they don't love, usually women are subjected to say no first. But their no doesn't mean no. But man, if a man said no, and the woman tried to force them in a relationship, guess what? They will take it. But when they see someone they really love, they will leave. If they don't leave you, they will give you a hard time, or they will be with that woman. Now you either have to be a second wife, or you suffer, or you end the relationship. And I also agree with Sam. I think it's Nfamara. When the relationship is not working and there's no way to fix it, I don't like divorce. Divorce is the last thing I would advise anyone, and I will do anything to save a marriage, provided that both partners agree to adjust and make it work. Marriage is about giving your 100%. Don't look at what Binta is giving. No, I am looking at what I'm giving. Am I giving every day my 100%? Yes, I feel good. If Binta is not giving 100%, let me just keep giving. Maybe that will send Binta a signal to say, gee, if Momodou is giving, I have to try. So everybody has to give their 100%. And it shouldn't be 50-50. Because the way things are measured, somebody staying home, like a stay-home mom, do you know how much work that person does with the children? I was home when I wasn't working for 3 months. My hair turned gray because of the kids. This hair nearly turned gray. Hey, Patty, hey. I mean, I was running crazy. I told my wife, this is what you go through. Man, this alone is more than the headache I got from work. So let's not take advantage of our housewife. In fact, our housewife do more work than we do, in my assessment. Because first, they save us money from babysitting. Second, our children has the best care because they are with their mom than the babysitter. Third, we have a peace of mind. Fourth, they have been loved. You name it countlessly. So housewives is not something that we should say, oh, my wife is a housewife. Gee, no, my wife is a housewife, should be celebrated and should be taking care of. That woman in the house, you should make sure that that woman smiles every time you're there. You are not there because they are doing more work than you are. So with all this, I don't want to go too much further because Binta is here. But with all this, our marriage can be protected. Our relationship can be stronger. And let's forget about this third party. This third party in a relationship, they are nosy. They are there to find out and they give you bad information. That's why they are able to make it work. But because it can make a pseudo. It'll get done in a partner in the bank. Do you know about it? Make a bungo more like Harlem. But if I fleco, Musoldom, they are easy to buy into this. Don't even tell them. They don't even matter anyway. And our families too. Our families could be very nice in a relationship. They will call and say they're trying to defend you. Oh, you don't deserve this. Oh, you don't deserve that. Oh, it'll be batarin. If you don't GB. Don't listen to them. Trust me. It doesn't matter. From your parents down, as long as the relationship is working with you and your partner, because guess what? You guys feel it. Everybody else is secondary. So I would say that third party, eliminate them. Not eliminate them, but don't listen to them. They can be around, you say, but you guys go at night and do your little thing. Keep your relationship alive. Trust me. Because if you are there unmarried, guess what? They will be speaking about it. Hey, yeah, they will be the talk of the town. Hey, some people are even here. So look at that. You know, that become another hustle. So this is what I want to say. I'll leave it here to you guys now. This topic is very interesting. I can go on and go on the whole day and debate about this and make it entertaining. So I will give Binta a chance since she's a female and then she's passionate about this topic. Thank you, guys.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi.
Walaikum salam, Binta. Thank you, Mrs.
Albekota. Brother Momod, I'm here.
Abiyan don karna de Binta.
Tarante. Sam.
Yeah, you've been yadi.
Jambe fine.
Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah.
Binta binatu leka de kewol.
Yeah,
Nfamara fana belay no. Nfamara fana belay no.
Yeah, go ahead. Looks like connection is getting an issue there.
Yeah, Gambia is always like
Binta, Binta, are you gone?
I think she keep going in and out.
Still you're not out. Okay.
Yeah, but one of you can come in and while she's come back because she definitely have something to say. I know she's been struggling to get into this.
Oh yeah, she has stuff to say. I'm sure she is going to have. Just like I said, I'll keep talking a little bit until she gets in. I'll give her a chance. Just like I said earlier, this is a wide topic, and we can't talk all of it today because there's so much into it, and every dimension you take will work. And there are several or many dimensions you can take in marriage and talk about this whole thing. And marriage and parenting and single parenting and all of it. There's so much into it. And Nfamara said a lot of great things, and you, Sawaneh, said a lot of great things too as well. So, and I'm sure Binta is going to come with a different dimension that is going to impact or what she experienced as a woman. And she can speak from a woman's perspective for all of us to listen and hear what she says. So very, very important, but Mrs. Sawaneh, you brought up one area that I wanted to elaborate on a little bit, which is marriage in let's say marriage overseas. I won't just say America, marriage overseas for all of us in the diaspora with our spouses is very difficult, and it's different. Back home, what we know from our parents, my dad did farming. My mom did cultivated some rice, did rice planting, and every year my mom will have a lot of rice that will be stacked up in the storage in the house all the way to the ceiling. And then my dad produced a lot of peanuts and a lot of other things. And he did some trading and also owned a shop so to be able to feed the family. But we can go for a whole year without buying a bag of rice in those days. I remember that. So it helps, even though the responsibility of a husband being the head of the household is there, will never go away. But whatever women can do to help in the house is always appreciative. It's always it's a team effort. It's a team effort, even though, like I said, the responsibility falls on the man. Now, if you think about us in the diaspora, people in the diaspora, we a lot of people are married and we have spouses and with us. It's still the same thing. The responsibility really is falls on the head of the household, who is the man. But this is where I said everything has to be discussed from the beginning. The honesty, the respect, the loyalty, all of this need to come from the beginning. And every man and woman should marry someone that you love, not because of what they are or what they have. You need to think about them and look at them as, this is a person that I can see, that I see as a person that could be a true partner for me, that I can live with for the rest of my life. Before you marry that person, you got to ask yourself all those questions. Now, once you have all of those together, you have all the cards together that you're looking for, the criteria that you look for a marriage, and you get into it, chances are, if it's mutual and that person also has the same criteria and you fit their criteria, just like they fit your criteria, most of the cases it works well, and you don't see a divorce in there. If you're in the diaspora and you're married, even though the responsibility falls on the husband, but this is where communication takes place. Communication is very important between a man and a woman or a spouse. When you communicate with your woman, and you, like I said earlier, also honesty is important. Be honest and say, this is what I make for a paycheck. Binta is on. I can let Binta go since she has that, and then I'll come back to this. Binta, if you'd like to, I'll let you go because we want to hear from a woman's perspective on this. If I answer for Musholo Kamenje, Mushole Menlong, Ale may encounter Ale Melong, Ye Melon, Dalifan left a memframe cook on about on a front of back. So go ahead.
Hey, Barakabake, Budasa. Mang diaspora musul for men be Europe, America. bo Gambia ja musul de bata ba le kono ni aje divorce yata do be ji ini ke ma ka nyu kan le family ni wala buka appreciate do be ji adon dafa inte a experience le gam e comme ni bota kombo ma fay tata santo to futu wala mostly family buke appreciate ka fa ni mu kombo dindi ngolte so e katarete muta ka wala nyam bo dol kewdol fanan be je ila musol e bugala responsibility tal because Gambia jan almost have 75 BM divorce let me anonin ke jang kewol ga men ke ni ene muso bula muso ni na responsibility buke dingol ke ay buke dingol tekke ya muso la katara responsible nga bela sa ni wodi ngonata fo dingonata men andu ite dingol woti maybe ya na ba ma bula kabra dindimma sa ni wo mente ya expect ko be bala fa soto leten yala be kole yala gam muso do dinnandi lul ko bonde nola sa fenketal bar kewol ye dabe bondila ko to ni je kamta ko ila slave fo lem ila musodi na membata la west ani mental membento la Gambia ja oldo muso do le ala tentule de bo ne futu ko pour men na futu be kole yare ni 100% 75 be la futu be kole yare ne o ala futu bantale fa Gambia kewol ntabe Gambia kewol dan la menna muso kewo ke muslime kewo sitano fo musu nani bari kana musu do bula musu do le ka dol jele ka tara futu ka musu kilin ka tarebul ini do mit ini way tara date ka afti la musu le te ke ala la kotenke itina respect le o fananka anonia je wandi dingo bota ba ma na fama ya teke ya fama nda fete laftala to fotoro ite nyanda tambila la parents ul fama menka bo ke jamal beje ni 100% so only 5 damma wala bete ya
Dolbo 5 lo kono ba
ndete ta fono la de foninga awani ninka
maybe Samba wala kon o famara
No.
baby bro Momodou ni ko serious talde dile attends ni kata janale dol kata accord le ye kwe diam je pour kewonye di pe fenko di pour
it's the network, right?
Yeah, it's the network.
Yeah, I thought it was my end.
Yeah, the signal is network is not very good on her end. Benta, you're breaking.
500 more journal $1,000 $1,000 more be monetira dol be je fa wol buka oh hello
Yeah,
Yeah,
go ahead.
we can hear you.
nga moji Obama la for sabe 15 years a fama na man zuta kana ndindi ngola every taja Gambia jadi te ko be la problem o explain la do nin do ata explain ni wo ite taka do e fele wol be siare nja te be Gambia ke wol mi dan la menna e fa ko di se musu jama futu no but yemme musu ni be musu futu la yemen taraji a respect yalon ko amanke falti amanke la jonti futu wonin kanu wala na muso kata kewe ne on to motita wani su ko no ani mbe men folamba din santo ton kol fanaye ko mbebe bota Gambia jan combo member Gambia there's no difference
The network is still bad.
It looks like it's slow.
Yeah, it's a bad signal. That's what it
Yeah,
is.
maybe she cannot even realize it. Binta.
Yeah, she's out.
Yeah, you can continue as before she comes in.
Yeah, so what I was gonna say is
Nfamara can come, so we can wrap it up.
Sometimes, you know, everything to be said from the beginning is very important. For people in the diaspora, we face a lot of challenges as well. They are facing different challenges in Gambia. So that's why I said this is a wide topic, and there's a lot to talk about. And I wish we have more people to come with their different perspectives, and like Binta and say that. So I'm going to talk about it. People in the diaspora.
She's coming again.
She's coming again. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's the network in the Gambia.
Yep. Yeah.
She's not showing it. Just go ahead, Sam. When you see her, yeah.
Yeah, people in the diaspora is really it's really critical that each one of us really talk with our spouses, you know, our wives. For men, I'm talking about talk with your wives about you know, our game plan, you know. And that's why I said honesty is very important from the beginning. If a man knows that your paycheck, this is your paycheck, this is how much you make. Based on your living expenses, this is not enough for you. And you discuss that with your wife. You have options. Option one is you, man, find a second job, or option two is your wife can get a job too. But when she gets a job, it will be a mutual agreement, and discuss that. When she gets a job is to be able to help offset some of the bills, or offset or help you to be able to sustain your family, because it's very important. Your family is your family, especially if you have kids. They belong to both of you, and you are equally responsible for the kids. So it's important that discussion comes up. If the wife works, why are you going to work? You're going to work because you want to help, because I can't pay all the bills, for example. Or in my case, for example, you know, when I came to US and I brought my wife, I make enough money, thank God, you know, thanks to Allah, you know, I make enough money and say, you can stay home. You can stay home, you don't have to work. You can be stay home and take care of the kids, take care of the house and the kids. And I work and pay all the bills. But at the same time, I supported my wife out of that. If she wants something, she gets that. You know, if she wants to buy something, I let her buy something, whatever she wants. But she takes care of the house. I don't have to come home and worry about food or anything not being there. I have never eaten outside, you know, like go to somebody's house or a friend's house to go eat there. No, there's always food at home, because she takes care of her responsibility at home. Yep, Binte is back. I think the signal was getting cut off, so we lost you. Signal on your network on your number.
Network on you. Network on you. At times ninte musul je bataria nkafu ko life member west wol nyanta nala jang, because west yalo ne manta je bari nga mo le kafu ko ni ko musul batandre te kewe ke telephone sala
aso dia dena
hako brother Momodou muso manyana batala mo enyante la muso ni findi da kewa ka problem nala muso findi da ya fa ke karla muso be na sirinde bar kewo dol ikaje le fay kela ika kono kela musora wulu hani morso ita asarna ya de ni aje dobe je kuliyo kata o nyambo kata dobe je la family member so la ko ka pour muso nyin kana malu Gambia jang sigirit jamal be jang ninga kewo la mo fo dawda mo kendo beje mo kurmo beje amanke ka fa fanan ko mbeke wala ko jindi kanne ngamen je nyala ngole je biko anim fanan
romance kewol ni ko dika romance je
dol kay dol fisiatal de dol kay mashallah wa hamsa be ko mala nga kewol doje kam nana la muso be sirinte mo kilim fula beje na ki saka fa ko karma ela muso niaje do beje sate bula isalon ko te jarete o marie everything nel bo kewol dol kay konin ka kacha nke ya po nyine ke because futuo ma easy kul de ka fo na kewal ko di ni diata ji ni futuo mfitiol te dol ka fo nyame bo na mama wol jamano anin sa jamano man membe kering amanke kilinti de ntaka be fo nin ke kiliye fa keta ye badi wata kero la de ke wodul beji wol man jare fam pour ni e futu e ka dol jafana ni talate bi tinyale be kumo sifa be fole so a depende te musole bulu ibe la life sambala nyame ani be mbari musol fana hatta ma dandalala wandi kewo ni na mette lafta pura e futu afa sila sobe because dolbe je ikaje le musol dol ka insist ke ma wala funo kono jibe wandi muso dolbe je sunkuto dolbe je ni ke ma be det kay bukanu ku ila fa kala file yalon ka fa ko ini itol ke inite ke mal be det ka anonte binta Drammeh te ke ma me nga kanu ni musu do na ta kana be det la akabo itande lantela me nyo falal dak so wala problem woti alma ala mbe so sabu ni mala en so hakili fengol ba musori ka fo ka musol sembentu ya Gambia jay ma musol sembentu ya de
The signal is gone again. Bintala signal ratalawa.
Okay. I think we can you and Nfamara can come in so we can wrap it up because I know Binta has some stuff to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, but now Mutanang we can allow her again because it's uncontrollable our situation Benjamin. So yeah. Sam, you can come in and Sam. I mean,
I'll say a little bit here and allow Nfamara. I'm sure Nfamara is has a lot to say as well. So, but what I wanted to say about people in the diaspora, of course, yes, we know it's not easy, but these mutual agreements need to happen from the beginning, so we understand. If you're working and your wife is not working, but what your work is not enough for you and your family, well, maybe you should allow your wife to work if she has the opportunity to work and she can work. She can work and working with the mindset that she is going to work because you, the husband, cannot afford to pay all the bills. So she's going to help for that reason. If that's the reason, that's good. But then you, the husband, also need to understand, in that case, then she is not going to be able to cook every single day.
Oh, she can freeze. So she can freeze food. That's okay.
Yep, she can't cook every single day because she has to go to work. She's a human being. She needs to rest. She needs to take a break and be able to have time for herself and be able to have time for her family as well. So as a result, you need to come to terms where maybe she can cook 2-3 times in a week, or weekends or her days off. She's going to cook 2 or 3 different meals and put them in the fridge, and that's what you guys are going to eat the rest of the week. Because every man should be able to at least cook rice, white rice. You put it in a rice cooker, put water and salt, and turn it on and walk away.
I can cook that. That's the only thing I can cook, though.
Right, we can do that, and then so we can cook the rice when there's sauce in the fridge already, and then so when the wife also wakes up, she has something to eat because you already made the wife the rice for her. So it's a team effort. It's a team effort. She's helping in one way, but you're also helping in another way. It's good that way. Otherwise, like I said, in my case, I make enough money where I told my wife, you can stay home. She can stay home And in that case, then she can cook when she wants to cook. She makes sure that there's food in the house every single day. There's food. She will cook alternate days where there's sauce, there's food in the house. I don't have to worry about it. I have never gone to work and come home and say, what do we have to eat? That has never happened. It has never happened. There's always food in the house. The house is always clean. The kids' laundry is always done. Their clothes are always ironed. She did what she needs to do in the house, and I don't have to worry about that. You see, I had a peace of mind. And when I get off work on my way home, I'm very happy that I'm going home. I'm going to meet a happy wife who is happy at home, who has done everything she needs to do. So to me, that is happy marriage. She makes me happy and I makes her happy. So we're a good time. So that's why the decision need to come where there is not enough money coming to the house and the wife has to work. If she has to work, then the husband need to understand certain things. But there really should not be any excuse of no food in the house. That shouldn't be excuse, because if there is no food in the house, of course, now the reason why the wife is working is because the husband doesn't make enough money to pay the bills. Well, you're going to end up taking more money out to buy junk food now because there's no food in the house. So all of those shouldn't be happening. It's more of a discussion, come to an agreement and agree on certain things and understand each other, and you can make it work. Yes,
thank you.
Nfamara.
Thank you so much, Sam. Well said. I mean, that's all about it, basically. I mean, my wife will work too. So I'm the one working. I pay all the bills, including her bills, and make sure provide everything that the family needs. And she do all the cooking and everything. She look after our kids. We don't have to pay for somebody to watch our kids somewhere also.
Yep.
So it's all understanding. I mean, basically, I'm happy to do that as a husband, as a head of the household. I'm happy to take care of everything. I got 2 jobs, but I have to take care of everything, and just make my wife happy, make myself happy, and then I
make sure you don't overwork yourself, though. You're young,
no,
young guy. We need you here.
Do that. Yeah, but that's pretty much it, basically. So it's just understanding communication. A lot of people don't open themselves to their partners, because if you try to hide away, whether you are in difficulty or maybe when you are okay, maybe your husband don't know or your wife don't know, that's where the problem comes. But communicate all the time, because she's there to support you and your family, and both of you can live happily. If you're in a situation where you feel you need support, let her know, or where you think you cannot, handle properly, maybe you're lacking behind, maybe a lot of things. The women know, actually, if your husband is, they are very understanding, and they know how to manage with little resources that you have, to take care of the family. So it's all down to communication. I don't see any problem that should happen between husbands and wife if we respect each other, have mutual respect for each other, communicate very well, and each plays your responsibility. That shouldn't be a big problem at all.
But what do you say about single parenting, though?
Yeah, single parenting, you can, it's very, single parenting and divorce are very related, because the reason why single parenting are there, because they divorce or the husbands run away from responsibility. And that's why some women, and when they find out they're in a relationship, and that relationship, the man is not stepping up to the plate to take up the responsibility. And then maybe they're doing everything possible to keep that relationship working, but then the man is not making that effort. You understand? So that's very frustrating for a woman, because there are certain things that they need support of, especially with children. Sometimes the children listen to the man more than the wife, because my son, even my son, my 14-year-old son, sometimes will be, going back and forth with my wife on certain things when he doesn't do that with me. So you see, so like if you have a wife just go live alone with the children like that, the boys, the more they grow,
they cannot handle them. They
can handle them. So in the end, the wife would just leave the boy to go, or we just do whatever he likes, and then that is sometimes good, is sometimes not good. You understand? But when the man is there, the boy is very careful of what he does, because he knows that if your wife cannot take care of it, he knows you're there, to talk to him, get him to his place. So this is why single parenting is very, very related to divorce rates and all those things. And it's very, very difficult on the side of a woman to be a single parent. Even for a man, on one aspect, yes, because sometimes you have to go to work, but who do you leave your children with? Who's going to take care of your children? So on both sides, single parenting is always a problem. It's always a problem. And then the way to avoid it is, to have understanding in a family and avoid unnecessarily divorce that, they can be manageable. Not like because my husband cannot give me fist money, then you just walk up and go. Communicate and see how to resolve the problem. If you can help him, fine. If you cannot help him, see how you can do it. So basically, we should try as much as possible to avoid divorce where it can be, repairable, basically, So, I mean,
what do you say about wives in the West that would save their money and go and buy a house while the bills are sorted by the husband, and then now the husband will realize that the wife has built a mansion while they are, while in the West they're struggling, and then the wife is not helping, just because of the fact that the husband takes care of everything. How do you analyze that?
Well, the question I would ask is the woman doing her responsibility as a wife in the house? Is it cooking? Is it giving the food when the husband come back home? Is it cleaned all the houses? Is it taking care of the children?
No, usually they don't have time for that when they are working like that.
Well, okay, if he's not doing that, I mean, it's not the man's job. I mean, I will not care what my wife makes and what he is doing home, but helping our family. It's not none of my job. It's not none of my business, because that's her job, because she's working and earning, and then so she's entitled to spend the money the way she wanted. I mean, it would be nice if you get me involved, because I would love to contribute to whatever project my wife is in. If she tells me about it.
No, I'm talking about she's not paying any bills, nothing of that. She take all that money and then building something home or doing something home without contributing there.
Paying bills is not her responsibility. That's the responsibility of the man. It's the man that's supposed to pay the bills.
Despite he can do it, she can do it other places.
Yes, it does. It's an option for her to help the man. But if she fails to provide food and taking care of the kids, then that's where the man's roles came in. The man can put him to our place and say, well, I know you don't have time, but the kids needs to be looked after. And then, I don't have to come home and then start cooking food for myself when I have a wife, or I don't have to come home, there's nothing there to eat. I have to go and order pizza or to buy food in a restaurant because you are maybe doing a 12-hour shift, so that should not be, that's a failure on the side of the wife. So she's not even allowed that to happen. All right. If she's going to work, make sure there is an opportunity where there is plenty of food and the children are being looked after. So, or go for a job that is compatible with your husband's shift. That way, if your husband comes home, he find you there, and you give her the food and hand over the kids to him and say, I'm going to work, I'll be back in the next 5 hours or 8 hours. Then that way, at least somebody is in the house. You understand? But you cannot just go to work and then, take the kids anywhere until you come back, or the husband comes home, there is no food. But what she makes of her money, that's not the job of the husband to look after. If your wife can help you, you have an understanding wives that said, I go to work, I'm not here all the time. And sometimes my husband have to step up, and boil rice, while the sauce is in the fridge. Then when she comes, he warm up the food house himself and serve himself. That's understanding too. But both of them should play their role. The man should not look at what the husband and the wife is making in terms of monetary, or whatever project he's doing back home. Don't focus on that. Focus on what is in the marriage. What is the woman doing in her responsibility? If you're doing it good, yes. If you cannot do 100%, you understand it, that's fine. Then now leave the woman to herself. If she feels that anyway, my husband is struggling, I'll probably go, if I don't pay the rent, but I can just pay the, part of the electricity, or just say, I'll just buy rice and other condiments, just to save him. Because I know it's his responsibility, but I'll take up that part. That's up to the wife. But no man should force your wife to do those kind of things, because it's our responsibility to feed, clothe, and provide shelter for our wife, no matter what. So if you can't do it, well, let your wife know that I cannot do it. My capacity is low, I cannot do it. So since you're working, if she wants to help, that's fine. but the woman should also not feel in her responsibility. Yeah.
So so women that have husbands who cannot do it because they don't have the jobs, they can and then the woman has the jobs at the same time the woman is making her responsibility cooking. So those wives would end up doing more, but then they, at the same token, they will end up dominating the husband more because they are doing more. What do you say to that?
Sarah, come back again. I didn't catch that.
Those wives that are working, right? They have good jobs. At the same
Yeah.
time, they do fulfill their responsibility at home by cooking and taking up for the kids. And
Right.
then for some reason, the husband is not able to, get a good job, or is not, is not fortunate enough.
Right.
It's less fortunate. So those wives would see that they're doing a lot more, and then they end up dominating, or they'll end up having their husband as a boy. What do you say to that?
Well, that should be the wife should know the condition, the situation of the husband. So if he knows that she is earning more, and then she's able to take care of all what she's supposed to do, and then maybe the husband is still struggling, she should just help if she can. But it's not an obligation. It's not an obligation on him, on her. Sorry.
But what I'm saying, psychologically, some people will think, will take it advantage of that, and I'm doing more, so why not? I command the thing. While it's in the Quran or tradition, a man should be the head of a household, should command the narratives.
Yeah, I know.
And in consultations of the wife. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, yeah, that's natural. Maybe something. Maybe I'm doing more than my husband is, so I should control. But no. But there are women that are actually helping their husbands, and they're still loyal to their husband.
No, I'm saying, what do you tell such a woman? What should they not do that, or they should?
Oh yeah, they should help. They should help. Like I said, it's always optional. They should help and consult, and help the husband when he's in need. Obviously,
but they shouldn't take advantage of a husband.
No, they shouldn't take advantage.
Okay,
because
that's what I want.
A husband is a husband, no matter what. Whether he's poor or rich, he is the head of the household. There is no way that a woman can be above a man in the house. That is not possible. So obviously, no matter how much you earn, whatever decision you are taking in the house, the decision should be mutual. I mean, you guys should consult each other, but the man have more upper say, like what to do. He has the final decision. A woman should never be, ahead of a house or trying to overcome or, to take a full responsibility of the house in the presence of your husband. So that's the way I see it. But I think the man should be in his position, irrespective of her earning capacity.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
that's clear. Sam, you have something before we wrap?
Yeah. Well, I wanted to say on the other part, the other question that you asked, and Nfamara did a great job answering some of these as well. And I just want to say throw something out there for a woman that is building a house in Gambia while in overseas working.
Why the husband is struggling? Why the husband is struggling?
While the husband is struggling,
and borrowing money.
That's not a fair balance. That's really not balanced. So
and these are true stories, though. I'm telling you, man.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Well, in reality, if you think about it in America, in reality, husband and wife, you came together for a purpose. You spiritually and naturally signed that you want to stay together for the rest of your lives. If it is a true marriage. And if that's the case, then when a woman is in that position where they work and they earn money, they should contribute to the house. They really, even though it's not an obligation, it should be a moral commitment.
Yeah,
exactly. They should contribute to that. Just like I said before, I gave an example. My wife did that. She paid the nanny, and she hired and paid the nanny from her own pocket every month, and she paid the telephone bill. In fact, another thing my wife did before was every month that she get paid. Back in Gambia in those days when she was working, she will get out on her own on a Saturday morning, and she and the nanny will go to the market and they will do grocery. They buy everything. At that point, when I'm still sleeping, they will go to the market and buy everything they need from her own pocket and come and cook for the family. So
And
she did all of
surprise
that.
and surprise you.
Yeah, she surprised me and went to the market without asking for fresh money. So from her own pocket, that's what true wives really do, you know, and that is a true wife. So I expect, you know, in overseas, when you have a wife that has money, really they should, again, they came to marry to you, they came to your house to marry you. They married you because of who you are, not what you have or what you don't have. So they married you on mutual ground. There should be that mutual understanding that if you have money as a wife, you should also contribute, because whatever you contribute, you're doing it for your own children. It's for your husband and your children. So therefore, if you have enough money that you're going to build a house in Gambia, it should be on the understanding that, okay, you can tell your husband that, all right, since you're paying the bills, you're doing all this, let me use my money that I make and buy a house or build a house in Gambia for our retirement house for both of us. If you're doing it for that reason, that's understandable. She can build that house for all of you. So when you get older and you want to retire, you have a place to go. If she's doing it for that purpose, that's one thing. But if she's doing it and completely eliminating you out of that picture, that's not a good sign. To me, that is not.
No, sometimes they don't even tell you. I mean, like you just hear, or you just hide it from hearsay.
That's disrespectful.
Yeah.
To me, that is disrespectful. And that's why I said, you know, I wish, you know, when we had a change of government in 2016, I thought that this new government will start something new. And I said this too. I made this different audios, and I made these comments there. We should have television programs in the Gambia, because Gambia has a lot of problems. So we should have television programs and GRTS that will educate people, but that will also make people understand certain things, kind of be a counseling sessions for people, let people understand certain things, help people understand things by getting into different sessions or different programs at different times of the week, make people engage in things like that. Marriage counseling could be one thing on television. Every week there could be a program on that. That would advise people, what a good relationship should look like. You know, there's a lot of things that could be done on television to help people. And what Binta was saying, all of those could be addressed on television. What are the answers and questions of what people are asking today? So, and be able to have people, very experienced people that can counsel people and say things like that and make people understand them on television. So there's a lot to be done.
Thank you. So I think, you know, that's it. We are able to definitely exhaust this topic. We discussed a lot here related to divorce, related to marriage, related to single parenting. The only thing I would say, and we can close on this, is that single parenting is very, very hard, especially when the kids are taken care of by the mothers. Why? Because usually to bring up a child, it takes even a village to bring up a child. So much more than having one parent to take care of a child, especially a female parent. So it's challenging. We need to do whatever to safeguard the marriage, because once parenting is missing in a child's life, that child can go astray. We've seen a lot of those things here in the West. Kids are walking around in the street, smoking, getting into drugs, getting into crimes, guns, and so forth, because there's no time. Most of these parents don't have the time for their kids. They don't stay with their kids. They're always working. By the time they get home, it's late. Sometimes the kids are with the babysitter. After a while, the kids started hanging out on their own at the age of 9, 10. We see a lot of them here in the West. And that's what caused this dysfunctional family. A woman in the West has a lot of advantage. So what the women need to do is to go back to our culture, our religion, and started to look at marriage, what the Quran said. There's a strict guidance on marriage, especially for women, and as well as for men. So once we adhere to those, we will be able to safeguard our families, so we will not have broken marriages. And people should have patience. People should have, patient, and they should look at marriage beyond here. It's piety. It's called for. I understand the hardship of it. I understand the drama that comes with it. I understand all those things. But the reason why we do it is, not only to get children and make family and offsprings, but to also better our lives hereafter. So if a woman, can incorporate this in their thoughts and their manners, I think, they will be able to work with their spouse. The same token with men. Men need to understand the responsibility lies on them. No matter how tough the going is, you gotta just stay tougher and put your heart and prayers to it. It's still not easy to take care of a family. Sometimes I look at how much I spend and I will be really, really nervous or really concerned. But guess what? Always know that God is there to guide you. God is there to support you since you have the will. So men shouldn't just run away from responsibility or be fighting about it. No, just if it is reasonable, if you are not wasteful, if it is not a wasteful spending, and if it is a necessary spending, do it. Tomorrow, trust me, God will make it easier for you. So with that, single parenting should definitely not be encouraged, because it will lead those kids to be on the street, because one parent cannot do it alone. It doesn't matter a female or man, no, it doesn't matter how tough you are. It needs two or more to bring up kids. So we pray for everyone who is a parent, and may Allah make it easier for all of us in raising our kids.
Amen. Amen.
Yeah, if you guys don't have anything, then we can close. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much, Sawaneh.
Thank you, Nfamara. Thank you, Sam.
And thank you both. Thank you, Nfamara. Thank you, Mr. Sawaneh. Yep.
Thank you, Sam. I never knew you can speak Mandinka,
Who, me?
Yeah.
Of course I am a Mandinka.
Sam, you need to speak Mandinka more. And maybe Wolof. Alice is not here. If Alice is here, I would say Alice will teach us all of Anjaga.
Yeah.
So this Nfamara set you up. Now you have to get into Mandinka so that people know you can speak Mandinka as well.
Yeah, we need to open it up sometimes and speak.
No, yeah, if you mix it up, it's good. I mean,
yeah,
it's good. I think so.
Yeah. Very
all
good.
Right.
So thank you all.
Guys.
Thank you.
All
Definitely.
right, thank you.
Okay,
bye.
Nfamara, thanks a lot, man.
All right, Sam.
All right.
Thank you, Sam.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Sawaneh. Yep.
All right.
Bye-bye now.